People would assume that because I'm a Jew from New York who would admit right up front that I'm not a gun person, that I had a terrible bias against guns and gun owners, which just isn't true. When I'm firing a gun, I'm thinking about absolutely nothing else. It requires total concentration. At first, you're very, very aware of using, that you have something dangerous in your hands. I mean, you can feel the power of it, but as you focus on trying to hit the target, that thought begins to recede and you begin focusing on the task. The thing that's so different, I find, about shooting a Glock is just the ease of the mechanics. It's just very straightforward to pick the gun up, put the magazine in the grip, point it, and shoot it. My book is about how the Glock became synonymous with the word gun in this country, how it became the Google of the gun market. At a deeper level, it's a book about what guns mean to Americans. The story of the Glock over the last 25, 30 years is really the story of the gun in American society over that period. In the space of just 10 years, the Glock went from being unknown in this country to being by far the best known handgun in the United States. The gun that more cops used, the guns that more directors cast in Hollywood movies, that you saw on police procedural shows on television, and that even came to dominate the lyrics of rap music. Everyone came to know what the Glock was. Gaston Glock is really one of the most extraordinary characters in business or society that I've encountered in more than 25 years as a journalist. I mean, here's a guy who was making curtain rods one day and then a few years later was the best known gun manufacturer in the world. My book explains how that happened. I have probably gone shooting, all told over the years, maybe 20 times, I would estimate. Most of those times very recently in connection with the book.
When you're set, two quick ones here.
My instructor is Frank Denuzzo. Frank is a retired sergeant with the New York State Police who was the chief firearms instructor for the New York State Police, and after leaving that job became the chief in-house instructor for Glock. Having Frank teach you how to use a handgun would be like having Rod Laver teach you how to play tennis.
You're in a situation here where I'm going to get you, so you're pretty much between the two targets.
Okay.
You got two adversaries, okay? Who's the greater threat to you?
In writing this book, I had in mind both gun owners and gun skeptics, people who already enjoy firearms but want to know more about how the Glock came to symbolize guns in the late 20th century, and to explain to people who are skeptical of guns why so many people are fascinated by them. From very early on, the Glock became associated with mass shooting, probably because the psychopaths responsible for those massacres knew you could fire a lot of rounds with a Glock very, very quickly. Now, you might think that this association would be harmful to Glock as a manufacturer. Quite the contrary. This only added to Glock's notoriety as a very potent weapon. The gun issue is one of the great wedge issues of American politics. It divides the American population in a way that very few other issues do. I hope my book really disturbs the preconceptions of readers across the board, that it makes them think twice about what they already think about guns.